tough team to make. Some good hurdlers going to be watching on TV.
That's why I mentioned it in the women's race. It is just an amazingly deep field. Terrence Trammell coming back, his first outdoor race this year. And he said everything's been fine. I've been focusing on my training and just tweaking a few things, trying to get up on his toes a little bit more and drive as he leans to the hurdle. Alan Johnson, I mean, this is Mr. Royalty for the event. 37 years of age now and hoping to make the Olympic team again.
It must be tough for him to travel with that cane and that oxygen and everything. He has to take 37 years old. But Johnson's still one of the greatest technicians ever in the event. Former American record holder, of course, Olympic champion way back in 1996. Trammell, twice an Olympic silver medalist, trying to get back there at the age of 28. And here is the field, and it's a very solid one from top to bottom. Joel Brown, of course, has had his moments. Aries Merritt left school early and has had mixed results. Terrence Trammell, of course, twice the Olympic silver medalist and ran Liu Shang to a great time in New York last season. Ryan Wilson with a 13.0 last year. Alan Johnson, you never count him out. Anwar Moore also having an excellent season.
You know, I've always been impressed with one thing that I think Alan has a little bit of a handicap. He probably wouldn't think that way, but the average top 10 hurdlers in the world average about 6 feet 2 inches tall, high center of gravity, easy to get over these high hurdles, which are 3 feet 6 inches tall. He's only 5'10". It's definitely a disadvantage. Those 4 inches make a difference.
But the good news for him is he doesn't have to chop his stride between hurdles, which is why he's had so much great success. Trammell, on the other hand, is 6'3" and faster than anybody in the field. Oftentimes will double 100 meters, 110 hurdles, certainly indoors 60-meter dash, 60-meter hurdles, and has been successful in both.
And he is going to do that at the Reebok Grand Prix. He's going to run the 100, and he's also going to run the hurdles.
All right, second attempt at an American record for Jen Stusinski, the silver medalist from last year's World Championships. 4 meters 90, 16 feet 3/4, the only American ever to jump 16 feet. Only 3 women in history have ever done so, 2 of them Russians, and the wind looks to be cooperating. Here she goes, second attempt, American record, and that
yes! Yes, she's got it!
Without a touch of the bar, an outstanding technical effort. Her hips directly over the crossbar, and Stusinski takes down, puts up, I should say, another American record in her second time over the 16-foot barrier.
Far and away, so far this year, the finest women's pole vaulter in the world. It's early in the season, however, but she had the best in the world at 15 feet 5 inches coming into this competition. She's up over 16. Excellent form down the runway. Good speed. The plant is fine. She rocks back well. Look at that form. Perfect V up the top, and she winds up with a terrific vault here. Great confidence builder when you have to face Isinbayeva when you come up to the Olympics, and provided she obviously makes the team, but doing extraordinarily well, Dwight.
Well, yeah, that right arm, her back, her highest hand, she just nailed it right over her head, and she has such great leverage because she is tall and thin. So the speed that is increasing all the time, her speed on the runway, I don't know that I've ever seen it better, helped by a little bit of a tailwind and some great technique. So she's going to go straight to the world record now. She's going to try and break Yelena Isinbayeva's world record. She's going to go to 16.5 and change as we get back to the men's 110-meter hurdles. No slouches are these guys, but you don't see an American record every day.
No, you don't, and that will be, as you say, at 16 feet 5.5 inches. The women keep acclimating to this event better and better, and the bar keeps moving higher in the women's pole vault.
So watch the middle of the track here with Trammell in 4, Ryan Wilson in 5, Alan Johnson in 6, and Anwar Moore on Johnson's right in 7. What do you think? Maybe a false start?
These guys are known for it more than any
worst.
other event in track and field. I have no clue why.
Good job. Oh, thank you very much.
We couldn't have success here. I mean, why?
And that looked like Ryan Wilson in lane 5, who might have gone a little bit early.
I did think they were held a long time in that one, I must say. Just, we're talking a long time, it's just an extra split second or two. That's all. We're not talking a lot of time, but the athletes are used to the rhythm of international starters.
Well, that is certainly in lane 5. That appeared to be Ryan Wilson, but I missed the flinch of Wallace Spearman earlier. But it's no matter. The first false start simply puts a false start on everyone, and the next one is the one that may DQ them. All right, let's take this time to tell you about track and field fans. You have the opportunity to be part of the action. USA Track and Field's new Pick and Win fantasy game, which was very popular indoors, by the way, allows fans to create the ultimate track and field team each and every week. Go to VisaChampionsSeries.com. Select the athletes you think are going to compete well that week. The athletes you select will score points for you and possibly help you win the weekly prize if you're lucky. They will help you win the grand prize, a $2,000 Visa gift card. Log on today to get all the details. And our good friend Jim Dunaway was the one who won the indoor series. Long track fan, track statistician, and it's great to see that he will be going to the Olympic trials courtesy of Visa.
Absolutely, all expenses paid.
Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, you know, let's go inside the heads of these hurdlers. I was surprised to see that it was Anwar Moore with the false start. The guys had about 6 to 8 minutes to warm up over the hurdles. If they don't get enough time, usually you might see someone like Alan Johnson, who's got so much experience, try and level the field with a false start, or maybe Joel Brown, who's in lane 1, who's one of the shorter hurdlers, try and level the field. So now, as we saw in the 100, the pressure is on the guys to stick in the blocks, but everyone's goal here, if you're not familiar with the hurdles, is to get to that first hurdle first, which sets you up for the rest of the race. And so now it comes down to really experience and nerves and guts to see who can manage this sort of stressful moment.
Now, see, I didn't see Anwar Moore flinch out there in 7. It looked like Ryan Wilson, but no matter. Now everyone has a false start. Next one to jump is gone. And there were, oh no, it looked like lane 9 this time, but I'm afraid to even guess anymore. Eric Mitchum, who was an All-American in Oregon, Pac-10 champion in 2004, looked like he left a little bit early. So let's see if we can pick it up this time. Look on there, right at the bottom of the screen, bottom left there in the yellow, and boy, it sure looked like he left early.
You know, one of the reasons, Dwight, that could be a factor here sometimes is a lesser athlete is often the one that jumps. It's not one of the first, second, or third top athletes in any race. And the thought being, if people have great starts and they're an average starter, I want to neutralize that.
Sure.
And it doesn't cost me anything to do that. It's the free pass. And we're seeing more and more of this, and I don't know whether they eventually will fix this rule in some way. The NCAA championships is a good example. One false start, and you go home. That's it. And this rule increasingly seems to be not working based upon how many false starts we keep seeing in the invitational races.
Well, you know, neither one of us are sprinters. And when you talk to a sprinter, they have a completely different perspective on this. They feel they've been unduly penalized by this rule. You know, for live television, of course, this is a killer because it gets the meet behind schedule, and we may not see all of the people that we might want to. But also, it's hard on these athletes because starting as a sprinter is very hard on the legs. And you add this weather, you add this hard and hot track, it just increases the problem. But more importantly for Eric Mitchum, he doesn't get to run against a great field.
I understand.
All right, so once again, we have 8 hurdlers. Eric Mitchum out in lane 9. Next person to go to jump will be leaving us as well. To remind you, Terrence Trammell in 4, Ryan Wilson in 5, Alan Johnson in 6.
Johnson still says after all these years he gets nervous before major competitions like this. He finds them stressful, particularly the Olympic trials.
Now that means he still loves it. And they're finally away cleanly, and Trammell out. Fantastic start. Look at him go. Terrence Trammell is gone. And then out in lane 7, that's Anwar Moore, who has caught it now. Trammell having some problems in the middle of the race. He was absolutely gone, and it's going to be, look from here, Anwar Moore out in lane 7, who was the first person guilty of the false start. Unofficially 13.41, but Terrence Trammell was gone the first 3 hurdles. That had a little adjustment problem in the middle of the race, allowed the rest of the athletes back in. And Anwar Moore, 13.39, takes it from a great field.
Let's take a look and see if we can ascertain what happened. You're right, Dwight. Terrence Trammell in the center of the track gets out brilliantly, and he's easily the leader at this point. On the inside, within 3 hurdles, perhaps equaling him, is Moore. And it becomes a 2-person race, and then Trammell starts to fade a bit. Johnson never in the hunt out there, and look how close it is at the finish. Wow, what a race.
In that replay, I could see Trammell hit the 4th hurdle pretty hard, and we go down to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Anwar looks as though he's just tired and hot with all the false starts. What was it like to have to deal with all the false starts and then refocus for the race?
I wasn't that hard. We're used to it, so we just got to bear with it and go.
And Terrence Trammell, the 2-time Olympic silver medalist, was out there. I'm sure you saw him. How were you able to regroup, recover, pass him for the win?
I had to stay focused, you know, just like get the win.
All right, Anwar, congratulations.
Thank you.
Anwar having a little trouble recovering there. Anwar Moore winning it by 1/100th over Trammell, who hit the fourth hurdle hard. Ryan Wilson right there at 13.41. The old man, Alan Johnson, finishing 7th.
And she is going to 6-6.
So let's take another look at the end of the race. Very close. Blanket finished. Too many good hurdlers in this country, Larry.
And the young man, now 29 years of age, from Camden High School in Camden, New Jersey, does that high school proud.
All right.